Detail pages have always been really sparse in Sofa, intentionally so too. The idea here is that a lot of what I see a lot of apps doing is essentially just, hey, the API gives me all of this data, so I'm just going to show you all the data. And what I'm trying to do here with the detail pages is to provide really just enough detail and just enough information. Because really when you're looking at the detail page, it's either to verify that this is the actual thing you're looking for, especially if you're doing a search, or you're maybe looking for something that you want to watch or play, and you want to just kind of skim this to get a sense for, is this something I want to like get into right now? So it's intentionally been very stripped back and very focused, but it doesn't mean things can't be added to it. So that's what I've started to work on for the new version of this. So let's take a look. One of the things that I've been trying to add for all of these different data types is helpful links or actions that you can go check out. So if we look at something like a podcast. So now if I scroll down, so what's nice is there's going to be links to all these different services. And I always had Apple Podcast and Overcast in there. And this is something that I've been wanting to do for a while, but I personally use Castro. That's my podcast app of choice. So if you tap on this, it'll open Castro there, which is really nice. So again, and this has all the kind of popular ones here. And if we look at another type of data source, let's say like, let's say a movie. This is one that is not as enjoyable. So, all right, let's talk about movies and TV for a second. So the data to show where something is, like if it's on Netflix or Hulu or wherever, it does exist, but it's only with certain providers. It's not like freely accessible. I would love to add it, just can't afford to do it right now. So, once the Super Sofa comes out and enough people subscribe, that's something I can look into. But it's just something that just isn't in the budget at the moment. So it is technically possible. Just if things go well, we can do it. But for now, at least, having a link to IMDb is not a bad thing, because sometimes you do want a little bit more information, so you'll be able to have that. Another one that I'm playing with is for music, and I'm using a service called Oldie. I think it was called Songlink before. And what this is going to do is because I use the iTunes API for pulling in album information. And what this is going to do is provide links to the various streaming services that are out there, which is nice. So for any album that you add to Sofa, you can jump right to Apple Music, which you've been able to do the whole time. Or if you use Spotify, if it's available there, it'll show that, Pandora, Tidal, YouTube Music, that kind of stuff. So most of the popular ones here, you're going to be able to link to those things, which is good. Now, the other one that's very tricky is books. And I don't know exactly how to resolve this yet. So getting good, there are many book services out there that you can use their API for. There's not many good ones with good data that's very clean and all that stuff. So it's a series of trade-offs you have to make. I originally used Google Books, but their API was good, but I didn't trust that it would still be there years from now. And I eventually moved my way off of it and started using iTunes for book information. And that is limiting because not everything is on iTunes or the iBooks store, or Apple Books now I think it's called. But at least a lot of stuff is there, which is great. The issue is the iTunes API doesn't tell me what the ISBN number is. So I really have no way of linking out to Amazon or some other bookstore because I literally don't know what the ISBN is, right? I'm just getting like the iTunes ID. So I'm looking into different ways to potentially handle this, but it doesn't look like there's anything really great out there at the moment. So, so for books, it may just be for now just a link to Apple Books, and that's really what it's going to be. And then for things like apps, you know, that's going to link directly to the App Store, which is good. So you'll be able to see that. I'm also adding a link to like developer website. So I'm trying to allow you to, if you're looking for more information or more things that you want to do with this, instead of packing these pages with too much stuff, it's like you can shoot yourself off. You know, you can shoot off to other places to get that information. So not a big deal. And then for video games, so if we look at like Stardew Valley, showing where this is at, and all, you know, basically what I can show here, it depends on what the various APIs give me. So sometimes I have control and sometimes I don't. So, you know, it is what it is sometimes. But a lot of this stuff is really good, which is great. Actually, we can just pull this back up. So if we just think about the general structure here, this may not look very different either. This may look like basically the same page. It is completely new though. So the old one was using Table View and UI Kit. This is all Swift UI. And this is a much better foundation that I can build on to add new things in the future, which is super nice. None of these buttons work yet. You can see, you know, there's like a menu, but nothing actually works. So, and you still get the same kind of information, but I've always liked the sparseness of these pages, and I'm not trying to make these insane. So they are staying pretty close to what's there. A couple other things you may have seen as we've been looking at this is the sticky notes. So if you do have sticky notes, this will show up and, you know, just kind of slapped right on the actual cover there, which will be nice. So you'll still be able to get access to those things. You'll be able to tap on that, it'll open up, all that. So that's it for detail pages. Visually, they're not that different from what exists today. There's going to be a little bit more functionality for adding, you know, for being able to link out to different places. One of the things I'm trying to think about is for things like adding movie or like where to watch information. I'm going to get charged for that to bring that in, right? So that's like a paid thing. So what I'm trying to think through is how do I, what becomes a super sofa feature versus just a basic feature? And I don't know if I necessarily want to lump it as, well, I have to pay for this, so that means you have to pay for this. It may make more sense to treat it as like a full package and say, if you want this additional information, that's part of Super Sofa, right? Because even though stuff comes back from an API, it's still not trivial to coordinate all these things and put it together in a way that makes sense. So nothing is written in stone here. I'm still thinking through how this is all going to come together and what is a free feature versus a paid one. But if you have any thoughts, be happy to hear that. But anyway, thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.